Hey guys out there, this is Seto Kaiba from your Yu-Gi-Oh chat channel, and today for you guys I'm going to profile my traditional Exodia deck. Now if you are wondering what a traditional deck is, a traditional deck is a deck that you can use banned cards at one. So you can use Sangan, use one Sangan, you can use one Monster Reborn, one Heavy if you want to, one Witch of the Black Forest, one Harpy's Feather Duster. This deck is a deck I pretty much do every new format, and I take band cards and I put them in there to play with and stuff like that at one, and it's really fun. But the way this band list went, the deck has really got a lot of tradition in it, I guess you could say, because with Monster Reborn being hit, Avarice being hit, that's two more, and I've added some older broken cards in there that you'll see since I last profiled back in March of earlier this year. So let's go over with this deck. It's really fun, but let's go over the traditional format Exodia deck. This is really a fun deck, and if you guys have suggestions, feel free. At last, I got some suggestions for some other players the last time I profiled this deck, but feel free. It's an old school deck. It's an old school traditional format deck, and I love it. So let's get started. So first off, we got the boss. The reason why we play this deck, it's Exodia. So we have our 5 pieces of Exodia. By the way, guys, this deck is at 40, but we have our 5 pieces of Exodia here. Also, if you did not know, if you didn't know about Exodia, you see you have the Spellbinding Circle, which is trapping him. In the OCG, it's actually different. They have a pentagram behind Exodia, the devil, and that's very interesting. Actually, the same thing is on with Dark Magician Girl. But that is your Exodia. You got your Exodia. That's number 5 cards right there. Then you have your 3 Spirit Reapers. I use my Marsh Mulans in my other deck, but it pretty much serves the same purpose, which is to stall and bide time. But 3 Spirit Reapers to bide time. 2 Cyber Valley Dragons. It just says Cyber Valley. I call him Cyber Valley Dragon, but 2 Cyber Valley. Pretty much when he's attacked, I can draw a card and end the battle phase. Or if there's another monster, I can end the battle phase, I think, and I get to draw 2 cards by sacrificing 2 monsters. So he comes in handy a lot. He's actually won me a game or 2 lately. 2 Emissary of the Afterlife. An old school card that used to be used for searching Exodia back in the day. When I used to play this Exodia competitively, I used to use this card a lot. Pretty much what does Emissary of the Afterlife do? Okay, I don't know a single deck out there that runs. His effect is this, though. When he's destroyed by battle or by card effect, you and your opponent both get to search for level 3 and lower normal monsters from your deck and add them to your hand. You can add 1. I don't know any deck out there, like I was saying earlier, that runs a level 3 or lower normal monster, so pretty much it's a free search. So pretty much you can search out everything, all the pieces for Exodia, all 4 of these pieces right here, except the head because it's an effect monster. But you can search out all the other pieces because they're normal, and you can add them to your hand. So it's another way of searching out Exodia pieces. You may want to look into that, if you play Exodia in competitive play. Next up, we got 2 Skagekis. Pretty much, you put that face down, you flip up, you draw a card. Simple like that. 2 Royal Magical Libraries. Simple. The original he's stuck. 1 original Big Eye. Now, it's not Big Eye number 11. No, this is the original Big Eye from back in the day. I think it's from Metal Raiders or something like that. But this is the original Big Eye. Pretty much when he is destroyed, when he's flipped up, you get to go through the top 5 cards of your deck and put them in any order of your choosing, the top 5 cards. So he can come in handy. You can set up, get all the Exodia pieces. Sometimes I get 3 Exodia pieces in my next 3 turns. So as long as I can stall out for 3 turns, I get Exodia. Penguin Soldier. The reason why Penguin Soldier's in here is because, say my opponent has an annoying 2 XYZ monsters on the field, he's trying to do something, swarming, because I'm a stall type deck. You pretty much put Penguin Soldier down, they attack it, you flip up, you bounce 2 Exceeds with 2 Synchros back, whatever you want to. It just comes in handy a lot, and I've actually seen some people start to use them since it's a slower format in actually mermails and other type of decks. But I've seen them in a lot of decks recently. He comes in handy a lot, believe me. One Witch, one Sangan. Pretty much this is the original boyfriend, girlfriend of Yu-Gi-Oh! You know what they do. They search out just about anything in any deck. One Magician of Faith. Magician of Faith, you know, I get to reuse a spell card when she's flipped up. People have actually been talking about that card coming back. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And one Democ. This is one of the new guys. I like having a little attack with my Exodia deck. So, with Dark Magician of Chaos, I'm running, I think, like 5 lights and 6 darks. I don't know, something like that. But it's a very good, you know, half and half. So, one Democ, it comes in handy. He's usually live after turn 2 or 3. But he's just such a good card, and I can use things like Pot of Greed, Monster Reborn, stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. But I like a little bit of offense with my deck. 3 Upstart Goblins. We don't care about life points, we just draw, but 3 Upstart Goblins. 3 Swords. People I've actually seen use this card again recently in my locals and other places I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Even online. It is more viable than it was last format, simply for the reason that Heavy's gone. Now, there are cards out there that can still pop, you know, things. Grapha, for example, stuff like that. Monsters that can pop stuff. Exceeds that can pop stuff, like Volcasaurus and stuff. But it's still actually a more viable card in a deck now than it used to be. So, you may want to think about it, but I just run 3 because of stalling and all that stuff. One Pod Duality. The reason I run 1 instead of more is because I've had the unlucky thing when I was running 3 this past weekend at my locals, that I was getting 3, I think 3 or 4 times. Every time I used Pod Duality, it always seemed that there was 2 Exodia pieces that I would, you know, I could choose from, or 3 Exodia pieces, or, you know, it was just ridiculous. So I only run 1 of it. I know a lot of people say, well, why? It's just because I've had the unfavored, you know, fortune where I'll get like 2 Exodia pieces, or sometimes I'll get 3 Exodia pieces, and it's just annoying. You're like, well, I got to put the other 2 away. You know, that was useless. But that's, you know, your preference, but I just like 1. 1, the Dark Door. The Dark Door is pretty much a card that, when it's activated, it's a continuous spell card, that when you and your opponent are attacked, you know, you only can attack with 1 monster per turn. Simple as that. And it's actually been seen. I've been seeing this in some Bujin decks instead of Kaiser Coliseum. I don't know, but it's a good card. 1 Recycle, so I can recycle my good spell cards like Gold Sarcophagus, Monster Reborn, Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster. You know, just those good generic things. And I only have to pay 300 life points to put the spell card back in the deck and reuse it later on if I draw into it. So it comes in handy. Well, and now these are all the one-ofs. So 1 Day of Peace, 1 Pot of Avarice, 1 Pot of Greed, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster for you guys, 1 Raigeki Break, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Gold Sarcophagus. So these are all the one-ofs. Monster Reborn, Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster, Pot of Greed, Pot of Avarice, 1 Day of Peace, and Gold Sark. Those are all your one-ofs, guys. Those are all the good spells out there that are at 1. And finally, for traps, we run 1 Jar of Greed and 1 Defensive Draw. That's pretty much the deck, guys. It's a 40-card deck, and it's just a fun little deck. If you have any suggestions, feel free. It's a traditional format deck, just remember, and it's just for fun. I don't, you know, I play it at my locals and stuff like that, but it's just fun to play this deck. It's just takes you down memory lane, but it's just a fun little deck I profile for you guys every format, new format. So, till next time, everybody. Take care, have fun. I'll have a whole lot more deck profiles coming up later this week. I got to get my Blaster and Tidal Tins. They have not come to my locals yet, which is annoying. So my Target and Walmart don't have it either. I checked. So I just got to wait. And when those come out, I'll be doing some more deck profiles. But I got a lot of deck profiles to do for you guys. And I hope you like this traditional format Exodia deck, guys. You know, Exodia. Obliterate that motherfucker. Take care, everybody. Seto Kaiba, I'm out of here.